I'm assuming that you watched the president's press conference.
I sure did. Absolutely.
Actually, let's just get Wisconsin out of the way. Tomorrow is the primary election. It wouldn't be a primary if the Republicans hadn't run phony Democrats, but it is a primary. Get out the vote, right?
Absolutely, and recognize that the Republicans who have told us all year long that the state is broke, and so broke that they have to cut union contracts and sell off public properties and all these other things, had no problem forcing primary elections that will cost the state and local governments hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
So, in a way, this is a great way to put
surprise, surprise, Republicans are hypocrites. And now they're running as Democrats, which is absolutely bizarre. Anyhow, I'm assuming that the good people of Wisconsin will have, well, we'll see. We'll have enough common sense to figure it out.
They will, Tom, but I do think it's very important to understand how desperate the Republicans are in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
They're gaming this thing to the very end, coming up with a redistricting plan that they announced on Friday that changes the lines of all the districts and is clearly designed to sow confusion.
Yeah, and sow confusion in the election. And it's absolutely bizarre. So with regard to what the president had to say, John, this looks to me like a replay of 1979, the year before the presidential election. Jimmy Carter is president. He's going to be up for re-election the following year. And the Republicans are holding him hostage over the debt ceiling. The U.S. actually technically defaulted in 79. We didn't make our payments on $120 million worth of T-bills. It kicked our interest rates up by half a point. These actions in some ways led to, in part, the hyperinflation of Carter's administration. Then he had a foreign policy crisis, and Reagan sends Bill Casey on his own, goes over to Paris. Who knows, how it happened, and the hostages get held, and boom, you've got a one-term president.
Exactly, but I think also one other element, too. I mean, through that all, in the core of it, Jimmy Carter decided to try and run for re-election as a sort of centrist balancer of all interests. He tried not to be too liberal, not to be too progressive, at a critical point where people were looking for bold ideas. And this is something folks don't often understand about politics. There are points when the American people want centrism. They want something very cautious and sort of Dwight Eisenhower, if you will. But there are other points where they want boldness. And if the left doesn't provide boldness, they'll look to the right. What happened in 1979, 1980 was that Carter steered hard toward the center, hard toward cautious policies. Teddy Kennedy challenged him in the primary, said this isn't going to work. Now, the incredible thing was when they got to the Democratic National Convention that summer, after they had nominated Carter, Teddy Kennedy got up and gave sort of a rousing call to action. And everybody at that convention realized, oh, my gosh, we just blew it. The reality is we should be running as a progressive party. If we did, we could beat Reagan. Right. But, of course, they didn't, and they failed. And the same thing is going to happen to Barack Obama. Some point next year, if he keeps on this track, he's going to wake up to the reality he's running the wrong campaign. And if he wakes up too late, he's going to get beat by whoever the Republicans nominate, not because America wants right-wing policies, but because what Obama offered was so mealy-mouthed, so middling, that it didn't excite the electorate.
Well, and it probably should have started 6 months ago.
Oh,
or with his election, actually. I mean, he had this.
It should have started on January of 2009.
Right. I was just going to say he had about a year and a half there where he could have been FDR.
And there's something else too, Tom. And this is really important. He made a critical error. He should have done all the other things he did, but his first priority, the first thing he mentioned every time he spoke, should have been jobs, and he should have been fighting for a big jobs program. If the Republicans or conservative Democrats blocked him, he should have said, I'm still fighting for it, because that would have identified him with the fight for jobs. He's not identified with that now, and as these unemployment figures go up, they're eating away at him.
And it's going to explode at the end of the year when the one-year extension, I mean, it's already happening. It's rolling off. And in fact, there are a couple of states that have even made it worse. Wisconsin and Arizona, they've already cut it 80 weeks and 99 weeks. It's like the states that are run by Republican governors and Republican legislatures, really hardcore right-wing Republicans, they're actually crashing their own economies as hard and as fast as they can so that Obama will take the blame for it in 2012 and they will be able to run the table with Republicans.
Well, and let's be clear about one other thing, too. Obama's trying to get this grand plan of debt ceiling. The Republicans are never going to give it to him. I can guarantee you that, because they want the debt ceiling issue to remain alive in 2012. They don't really have a case for the economy. The only thing they've got is a lie. That lie is that we didn't cut taxes enough, that we, allowed
uncertainty.
Government to do too much. Right.
Uncertainty.
So that's it. And they're going to run on that lie. And Obama, unfortunately, is helping them to do so.
I know. He's used the word uncertainty word like 2 or 3 times now in the last week. It just blows my mind.
Right. It's a bad strategy. Forget about, I always have people, I was speaking to wonderful 10th District Democrats down in Illinois yesterday, great people, and they were asking all the questions you and your listeners ask. And I said to them, look, don't blame Obama. Don't worry about Obama. At this point, the fact of the matter is the Democratic Party, and this includes Nancy Pelosi and to the extent that he can't, Harry Reid, they need to get self-protective. They need to say to President Obama, look, you are way off course.
Well, I think Pelosi said that a couple of days ago.
He was right.
Yeah.
She's going to stick to that. Otherwise, it isn't just he who will be in trouble. Remember, Jimmy Carter didn't lose alone. He lost some of the best people in the U.S. Senate that year.
He lost the Senate in the election of 80 as well?
Yeah, they lost the Senate, and the people who went down were folks like Frank Church, Gaylord Nelson, and George McGovern. We lost great senators that year because the national ticket just wasn't functional.
Amazing. John Nichols, Washington editor of The Nation, thenation.com. Thank you, John.
Good to talk to you, Tom. This is the best conversation we're having right now.